The ANC says it's not aware of Durban Mayor Zandile Gumede withdrawing her resignation, and this despite sources close to the mayor confirming that she has indeed reversed that decision to step down. The latest developments have forced the postponement of the swearing in of new officials in the eThekwini Council. And for some clarity, further clarity on this matter, we joined now here in studio by ANC National Spokesperson Pule Mabe. Thank you so much for coming through this morning.
Morning, Sakina, and morning to your viewers.
I guess the first question on people's minds is the ANC at this stage, as I'm speaking to you now, any clearer as to what is going on around the resignation of Ms. Gumede?
Well, we were here, I think, earlier in the week, where we confirmed that Mam Zandile, alongside the mayor of Umsunduzi, had tendered their resignation. There were developments to the extent that such a resignation, especially in eThekwini, might have been withdrawn. Of course, these are issues that the province, the officials of the ANC would have to attend to. The council in eThekwini was to sit today. It has been postponed, and the postponement of council sitting today was merely to allow officials in the province to meet with officials at HQ. It had really nothing to do with the reversal of that PEC decision. As matters stand, there is a decision of the PEC recalling the mayors. There is also a decision of the PEC in terms of the installation of new mayors, which means that once the PEC had also briefed the national officials on issues, even those that relate to stability in the province, then the Provincial Executive Committee would be able to go back and discharge its work. Sakina, like I was saying to you even before we could start, that I don't think that the issue really is whether the PEC is aware or not aware. The real issue is whether an action of withdrawing a resignation is permissible in terms of the rules of the African National Congress. It's really unheard of. We haven't really come across such a situation. So because when we are deployed, when cadres are deployed, they are deployed by the ANC to go and lead at the behest of the movement, to fulfill and discharge their mandate on behalf of the organization that has deployed them in those positions.
So, and I suppose that is the crux of the matter.
Yes.
Being a deployee of the ANC,
yes,
and being instructed, as it were, by
yes,
the provincial executive to resign.
Yes.
And let's clarify things at this point. So that instruction was issued.
Yes.
The mayors were recalled by the ANC.
Yes.
So the resignation letter at that point, was it submitted?
Yes. Remember, Sakina, when we were here, I think, was it on Monday, or must have been on Monday or Tuesday, when we were here, we had even confirmed with the province. They had received the letter of resignation from both the mayor of Umsunduzi and the mayor of eThekwini. Actually, the provincial secretary is supposed to officiate, over our comrades, our deployees in Umsunduzi, as they go to council to go and elect a mayor, as per that directive of the Provincial Executive Committee.
And just to be clear, the provincial executive, have they had any word, have they had any indication from Ms. Gumede that she has indeed decided to withdraw that resignation?
Well, Sakina, like I am saying, that because the PEC hasn't said since since the resignation was received. So it means that if a letter is sent, in this instance, the letter would be sent to the provincial secretary. And the provincial secretary would have to then brief all the rest of the officials. But what stands is that there is a decision of the PEC.
Well, fair enough.
Yes.
But what you are saying right now is, as you and I are speaking right now, the PEC is not aware of that withdrawal of resignation.
Well, from the media reports that were coming out, there was that kind of a suggestion, but it could be that the provincial secretary has received the letter, needs to make sure that all of his officials are briefed, and then so that they too could be able to determine the next course of action. I think, Sakina, the issue really is not about whether the letter is received or not. The issue is whether a decision of the PEC could be changed in that way. Certainly not. It doesn't really work in that way. You see,
And that is the crux of the matter.
Yes.
That is the crux of the matter.
Yes.
The person ascends to a position as a deployee of the ANC.
Correct.
However, there is some autonomy, as it were, in that she is the one who is in the position, and therefore she's the one who has to tender the resignation
Correct.
to council.
Correct.
And she has some agency and autonomy in that regard.
Yes, yes.
But coming back to the matter of the ANC and its position. So let's talk about this matter of deployees and what they can and cannot do, and
Yes.
how the ANC then, as per its own rules and its constitution, would then respond to a situation like this. So the case in point, Zandile Gumede is essentially recalled as the mayor, as a deployee of eThekwini, as the mayor.
Yes.
So you, as the ANC now, if she then withdraws this, what do the rules say? What does the constitution say in terms of the action that will ensue?
Well, thanks, Sakina, for that question. That's why I'm saying it's really unheard of. It's unheard of. It has not happened in the history of the African National Conference, especially since it assumed power, that deployed comrades would accede to a decision of a structure and later on reconsider that kind of a view. It hasn't happened because the final authority is the ANC. The movement is the authority. It is the one that deploys its cadres. Now, you can just imagine what is going to happen if the ANC can no longer have authority to give its own comrades directives, if provincial executive committees, and even the NEC, if the NEC of the ANC takes a decision about the conduct of one Pule Mabe through its own NDC processes, or whatever processes that the ANC decide, for whatever conduct that I shall have engaged in, and then I decide that, no, I'm not going to recognize that decision of a structure. It doesn't work. But of course, at this stage, Sakina, we need to all get to understand the facts and all of that. But the principle is that when decisions are taken, and such decisions are taken by structures in that way, conveyed out to the public, the expectation is that those decisions are to be adhered to. If those decisions are not to be adhered to, then that is an act of ill discipline. Then it requires that the organization at the level where it leads has got to look at what are the steps that need to be undertaken. Because once the authority of structures of the ANC is eroded at whatever level, how is the ANC going to direct and lead the program in society? How are we going to transform society if we can't lead our own programs in the movement? The ANC, both in action and in deeds, must be seen to be fostering discipline at all its ranks.
But is the Constitution silent on this particular matter in terms of dealing with acts of defiance? And I'm not saying, because we haven't established at this point
Yes.
whether this is indeed the case, but hypothetically speaking, if it were to be the case,
Yes.
is the Constitution silent, or are there clear directives for the ANC to act upon?
No. The Constitution is not silent. I mean, defiance is tantamount to bringing the organization into disrepute. It's not silent. The Constitution of the ANC is very clear on what needs to happen.
So what's going to happen if this is the case, hypothetically speaking?
Well, if this was to be the case, the African National Congress in KwaZulu-Natal would have to follow the prescripts that are provided for in the Constitution. Because it is important, because a message has got to be sent out there that the authority is not government, the authority is the ANC. Now, if the ANC ceases to be authority at any given level, then how is the ANC going to champion and direct its programs in society? Deployees of the ANC are deployees of the movement at the behest of the organization. They don't deploy themselves in those positions. It doesn't matter at what level of council, or whether it's in a province, it's in a municipality and all of that. And here, Sakina, I'm merely referring to what are the principles and what are the established norms in the organization. when you are when you are a deployee of the African National Congress, you serve at the behest of the African National Congress.
But
and
what
the
are you going to do
organization
with the
can
matter
also,
regarding counsel? Because if she withdraws her resignation, she's well within her rights to do so as an individual. Quite apart from you having deployed her as the ANC, she's well within her rights. There are rules that govern workplace issues. You've got Labor Relations Acts, etc., etc. So if she were to decide that she is staying on, what can you do in that regard as the ANC as far as counsel is concerned?
Well, Sakina, I wouldn't want to specifically get into the situation of eThekwini, because there are structures there of the African National Congress, and those structures are capable enough to attend to situations that they assist with. They are established conventions in the movement on how you are expected to deal with such. They are structures even at the level of councils, whether in the form of ANC caucus and all of that. And they will be able themselves to look at what are the course of action. I think for us really at national level, our duty is to enforce the discipline. What is it that we expect our deployees to do at all levels? You know, without...
And in that regard,
yes.
Just finally to bottom line it, you know, what now? Because you have a situation whereby the internal wrangling within the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal in this instance is causing some instability within the city. People are concerned about service delivery. People are concerned about paralysis that may arise as a result of this within the municipality. So how do you address those concerns?
Well, we are quite, we are deeply concerned about that. I mean, more worrying, Sakina, I mean, even just yesterday, there were bits and bits, comrades were busy there doing all sorts of things, some of them trying to name drop names of national leaders and all of that. And it's not helpful. We need to deal with instances of stability. And stability, where you are presiding over an administration, is brought about by your own political leadership. There must be certainty that there is a political leadership at a council level which is clear on what needs to happen. There is a clear program on service delivery which responds to the challenges of the people, so that whether it's your IDP forums, whether all other relevant structures that are there to be able to continue managing interface between council and the people on the ground are taking place without being constrained by some of this. So the ANC needs to be seen in KwaZulu-Natal taking charge and assuring citizens there that it is serious about stability, it is serious about service delivery, but it is also serious about enforcing discipline well within its ranks.
And just a quick one, news just in, and we had those by-elections in Maluti Opofung yesterday, and the ANC has lost 10 wards, of which 9 went to its former members who stood as independent candidates, and 1 to the EFF in that Maluti Opofung by-elections yesterday. What's your response to that?
Well, it's a democratic will of the people. People have expressed themselves. It means we now need to go back to the drawing board and look at what is it that we didn't do right and what is it that we need to foster on. You know, you see, we have participated in these elections together with all other parties, be them independents and all of that. People in those communities have expressed themselves. Now, this is democracy in action. Now, an outcome of a democratic process where people in communities have expressed themselves needs to be welcomed by all of us.
You're not just a little bit concerned and disappointed that you've lost 10 wards?
Well, we are concerned. It is concerning. Hence, I'm saying we need to go back to the drawing board. I mean, we can't just laugh about it that 10 wards have gone. No, I mean, it is concerning. But all these things are a result of a maturing democracy. When democracy matures, you are going to see quite a number of things, including what you see even at the national level.
These are
But
your
we
former
we
members,
we
Mr. Mabe. These are your former
We are
members.
concerned. We
And
are
of course,
concerned.
some would say this is self-inflicted. But we have to leave it there, unfortunately. But thank you so much, as always, for coming through and engaging with us on these matters. And that, of course, the national spokesperson of the African National Congress, Mr. Pule Mabe, on some of the latest developments around the party.